All rise who are able for the Morris American prayer. Those who care to pray with us, put 2 fingers on your right hand, 5 fingers on your left hand, arms at a right angle, feet at a 45-degree angle, and repeat the Morris American prayer. Allah, the Father of the universe.
Allah, the Father of the universe.
The Father of love.
Father of love.
Truth.
Truth.
Peace.
Peace.
Freedom.
Freedom.
And justice.
And justice.
Allah is my protector.
Allah is my protector.
My guide.
My guide.
And my salvation.
And my salvation.
By night.
By night.
And by day.
And by day.
Through his holy prophet.
Through his holy prophet.
Through Ali.
Through Ali.
Amen.
Amen.
Please remain standing for the Moorish honors in unison. First shall rise giving praise to Allah.
First shall rise giving praise to Allah,
the great God of the universe.
the great God of the universe.
I give honor to the Prophet Noble Jew Ali,
I give honor to the Prophet Noble Jew Ali,
the last prophet in these days.
the last prophet in these days.
I give honor to all true and divine prophets.
I give honor to all true and divine prophets.
Jesus, Muhammad,
Muhammad,
Buddha,
Buddha,
Confucius,
Confucius,
etc.
etc.
I give honor to Marcus Garvey,
I give honor to Marcus Garvey,
forerunner Prophet Noble Jew Ali.
forerunner of Prophet Noble Jew Ali.
I give honor to the American
I
flag,
give honor to the American flag,
the flag of our birth,
the flag of our birth,
and to the Moorish flag,
and to the Moorish flag,
our decent flag,
our decent flag,
the red flag
the red flag,
with the 5-pointed green star in the center,
with a 5-pointed green star in the center,
representing love, true peace, freedom, and justice.
representing love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice.
I give honor to our divine charter,
I give honor to our divine charter,
which gives us the divine and legal right
which gives us divine and legal right
to practice and promote our religion
to practice and promote our religion
unmolested.
unmolested.
I give honor to all past leaders of the Moorish Science Temple of America Incorporated
I give honor to all past leaders of the Moorish Science Temple of America Incorporated.
in succession,
In succession,
the Supreme Grand Advisor Moderators,
the Supreme Grand Advisor and Moderators,
Brother C. Kirkman Bay,
Brother C. Kirkman Bay,
Brother F. Nelson Bay,
Brother F. Nelson Bay,
and Brother J. Blakely Bay.
and Brother J. Blakely Bay.
I give our honor to our past Grand Sheik and Moderators,
I give honor to our past Grand Sheik and Moderator,
Brother R. Loville.
Brother I Love You.
I give honor to our present Grand Sheik and Moderator,
I give honor to our present Grand Sheik and Moderator,
Brother R. Jones Bay.
Brother R. Jones Bay.
I give honor to the Assistant Grand Sheik,
I give honor to the Assistant Grand Sheik,
Brother A. Hopkins Bay.
Brother A. Hopkins
I
Bay.
give honor to the Grand National Chairman
I give honor to the Grand National Chairman
of the Moorish Science Temple of America,
of the Moorish Science Temple of America,
who's also the Grand Sheik
who is also the Grand Sheik
here at Temple 71.
here at Temple 71.
I give honor to all national, state, and local officials
I give honor to all national, state, and local officials
in their office and station.
in their office and station.
I give honor to the Grand Governor of Washington, D.C.,
I give honor to the Grand Governor of Washington, D.C.,
Brother H. Harris Bay,
Brother H. Harris
and
Bay,
to his assistant,
and to his assistant,
Brother T. Dozier Bay.
Brother T. Dozier Bay.
I give honor to all divine ministers,
I give honor to all divine ministers,
sheiks and sheikas,
sheiks and sheikas,
all members,
all members,
all the auxiliaries,
all auxiliaries,
and the Moorish media team,
and the Moorish media team,
and to everything Prophet brought and taught,
and everything that Prophet brought and taught,
for the uplifting of fallen humanity.
for the uplifting of all humanity.
I give honor to all wayfarers,
I give honor to all wayfarers,
well-wishers,
well-wishers,
seekers after the truth,
and seekers after the truth,
and all of the listeners,
and all the listeners,
and all in attendance.
and all in attendance.
Peace.
Peace.
I'll now read Salvation, Our God, Unity, the Moorish Science Temple of America, the Divine Constitution and Bylaws, Act 1. The Grand Sheik and the Chairman of the Moorish Science Temple of America is empowered to make law and enforce laws with the assistance of the Prophet and the Grand Body of the Moorish Science Temple of America. The Assistant Grand Sheik is to assist the Grand Sheik in all affairs if he lives according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and it is known before the members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Act 2. All meetings are to be open and closed promptly, according to the Circle 7 and love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Friday is our holy day of rest, because on a Friday the first man was formed in flesh, and on a Friday the first man departed out of flesh, and ascended unto his Father God Allah. For that cause, Friday is the holy day for all Muslims all over the world. Act 3. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. No member is to put in danger or accuse falsely his brother or sister on any occasion at all that may harm his brother or sister, because Allah is love. Act 4. All members must preserve these holy and divine laws, and all members must obey the laws of the government, because by being a Moorish American, you are a part and parcel of the government and must live the life accordingly. Act 5. This organization of the Moorish Science Temple of America is not to cause any confusion or to overthrow the laws and constitution of the said government, but to obey hereby. Act 6. With us, all members must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are a part and a parcel of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Noble Drew Ali the prophet to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites whom inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All members must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and a partial of all uplifting acts of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Members must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become a part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet Noble Drew Ali through the guidance of his father, God Allah. Noble Drew Ali founder. Moorish American prayer. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day, through his holy prophet, Drew Ali. Amen. The Moorish Science Temple of America Home Office, 2905 5th Street, Southeast Washington, D.C., 20032. Thus, we've had a reading from all 7 acts of the Divine Constitution and Bylaws. I'll now read, questionnaire, and additional laws for the Moorish Americans by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Act 1. Grand Sheiks and governors and heads of all temples, all businesses. Each said temple must be approved by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali before acting upon by any members. Let it be finance, property, or any line of life that will cause the members to sacrifice finance, etc., that will cause the support of any group of members. Any former officer that violates these laws is subject to be removed from his office under heavy restriction, etc., by the prophet or the grand chief. Act 2. All members are to attend their ADAP meetings and their public meetings promptly. If a member is found standing around on their meeting period, shall be fined 50 cents on the first case, and on the second he will be fined $1, which will go on your emergency fund. If member is working, his monthly dues must be paid. And if he has money in the bank, he must subscribe for as much as he is able to the Moorish Uplifting Fund, because it takes finance to uplift a nation. Act 3. It is lawful and divine duty of every good member, if he is able in finance, to aid me and save the nation. And if he does not, he is an enemy to the cause of uplifting his own people, and justice must catch you. Let it be he or she, according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, as I have the power invested in my hands, and I will have to enforce the law in order to save the nation. Act 4. All members, while making a public speech, must not use any assertion against the American flag or speak radical against the church or any member of any organized group, because we are to teach love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Act 5. All members must promptly attend their meetings and send their children to Sunday school, and the teacher must confirm himself to the questionnaire, and let every member exercise his 5 senses who is able to do so, because out from your Sunday school comes the guidance of the nation. Act 6. With us, all members must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are a part and parcel of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Noble Drew Ali the prophet to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All members must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and partial of all uplifting acts of the Moorish Science Temple. Members must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of the Moorish Science Temple. Then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds filled with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, through the guidance of his father, God Allah. Peace. Thus we had a reading from all 7 acts of questionnaire and additional laws for the Moorish Americans by the prophet Noble Drew Ali. We'll now have a reading from the Holy Koran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, divinely prepared by the noble prophet Drew Ali, by the guiding of his father God Allah, the great God of the universe, to redeem man from his sinful and fallen stage of humanity back to the highest plane of life with his father, God Allah. I'll read from the divine instructions from the Holy Prophet, page 41. This will be from chapter 34. Holy instructions from the prophet, sincerity. O thou who art enamored with the beauty of truth, and hast fixed thy heart on the simplicity of her charms, hold fast thy fidelity unto her, and forsake her not. The constancy of thy virtue shall crown thee with honor. Thus we had a reading from the Holy Koran and the Moorish Science Temple of America, Our Sunday school is officially open. I'd like to welcome you all out to our Sunday school and hope that today that Allah will bless you by allowing you to hear something that you can take and help and make your way much fair upon the earth, that you may help in the uplifting and fall of humanity by sharing it with someone else. And without delay, I'll call for our Grand Sheik and moderator, our brother, man, and friend, Brother R. Jones Bay, for our Sunday school lesson. Brother R. Jones Bay.
Islam.
Islam.
Allah, the Father of the universe.
Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day, through His holy power, through Ali. Amen.
Allah is merciful with His weather.
Yes,
He is. Praise Allah. Okay, who made you?
Allah.
Who is Allah?
Allah is the Father of the universe.
Can we see Him?
No.
Where's the nearest place we can meet Him?
In the heart.
Who is Noble Allah?
He is Allah's prophet.
What is a prophet?
A prophet is the Lord of Allah manifested in the flesh.
What is the duty of a prophet?
To save nations from the wrath of Allah.
Who was the founder of the Moorish Science Temple of America?
No one to Ali.
What year was the Moorish Science Temple of America founded?
1913 AD.
Where?
Newark, New Jersey.
Where was Noble Ali born?
In the state of North Carolina, 1886.
What is his nationality?
Moorish American.
What is your nationality?
Moorish American.
Why are we Moorish American?
Because the citizens of Allah was born in America.
For what purpose was the Moorish Science Temple of America founded?
For the uplifting of all humanity.
How did the prophet begin to uplift the Moorish America?
By teaching them to be themselves.
What is our religion?
Islamism.
Is that a new or is that the old time religion?
Old time religion.
What kind of flag is a Moorish?
It is a great flag with a 5-pointed green star in the center.
What do the 5 points represent?
Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice.
How old is our flag?
It is over 10,000 years old.
Which is our holy day?
Friday.
Why?
Because Friday is the day on which man was born in flesh. And it was on Friday when he plowed out flesh.
Who was Jesus?
He was a prophet of Allah.
Where was he born?
In Bethlehem of Judah in the house of David.
Who were his father and mother?
Joseph and Mary.
Will you give a brief line genealogy through which Jesus came?
Some of the great fathers with which Jesus came are Abraham, 45 rulers, Jesse, King David, Solomon, Hezekiah, Joseph, and Mary.
Why did Allah send Jesus to this earth?
The same is the light from iron and expression of the Arab nation of Europe, who were governed the portion of Palestine at this time.
How long has that been?
About 2,000 years ago.
What was the nationality of the
Ruler was Moabites.
What is the modern name for Moabite?
Moroccan.
Where's the Moroccan Empire?
Northwestern Mexico.
What is the modern name for Mexico?
Africa.
What is the title given to our ruler in Morocco?
Sultan.
Where did we get the name Jesus?
From the east.
What does the name Jesus mean?
Jesus means justice.
Did the angel give to the child that was called Jesus a holy name?
Yes, we cannot be used by those who are slaves to sin.
What is an angel?
An angel is the love of Allah manifesting in human flesh.
What are angels used for?
To carry messages for corners of the world to all nations.
What is our prophet to us?
He is an angel of Allah who is sent to bring us the everlasting gospel of Allah.
What is the everlasting gospel?
It is the saving power that comes from Allah through our ancient fathers by his prophet.
What is the covenant of the great God Allah?
Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the earth, language the Lord thy God Allah has given thee.
At what age did Jesus begin to teach?
At the age of 12,
Where did he teach?
in the African Europe,
How long did he teach?
18 years.
What did Jesus say that would make you free?
Truth.
What is truth?
Truth is all.
What is all?
All is Allah.
Can truth change?
Truth cannot change or pass away.
What other name do we give to truth?
Holy breath.
What have you to say about holy breath?
All we say is great, is good, it was, it is, and never more to be. Amen.
At what place on earth was the physical part of man formed?
In the Garden of Eden.
Where is the Garden of Eden?
In the land of Canaan, the city of America.
What is the modern name for the Garden of Eden?
America.
What is the name of the first physical man?
His name cannot be used only by executive rules of the AC of the MSC of A.
What are the words of AC of the MST of A?
The dash chamber, the war signs, symbol, America, third heaven.
Who were Adam and Eve?
They are the mothers and fathers of the human family, Asiatics and Mars.
Where did they go?
They went into Asia.
What is the modern name given to their children?
Asiatics.
Who is guarding the holy city of Mecca today to keep the unbelievers away?
Angels.
What is the modern name for those angels?
Asiatics.
What is the shade of their skin?
Olive.
Are the Moorish Americans any relation to those angels?
Yes, we all have the same father and mother.
Give 5 names that are given to the descendants of Adam and Eve.
Lucifer, Satan, devil, dragon, beast.
What is the devil sometimes called?
The lower self.
How many cells are there?
2.
Name them.
Higher self and lower self.
What people represent the higher self?
The angels that take holy city of Mecca.
What people represent the lower self?
Those who are cast out of the holy city and those who accept their teaching.
What is the higher self?
The higher self is the mother of the virtues of the heart of the life of grace, justice, mercy, love, and right.
Can the higher self pass away?
No.
Why?
Because it is a law of man.
What does the lower self breed?
Hatred, slander, lewdness, murder, theft, and everything that harms.
What did the higher self say to the lower self at one time? What was the answer that the lower self gave to the higher self?
I am going to and for the earth, seeking whom I may devour.
Has he finished his task of devouring?
Yes.
When was his time declared out?
When you nailed Jesus on the cross.
What are the last words Jesus uttered?
It is finished.
What did he have reference to?
He had reference to the innocent.
Did Jesus say that he would return to conquer him?
Yes.
What is the name of the person into whom Jesus was first reincarnated?
Prophet Muhammad the Conqueror.
Was Satan to be bound in?
Satan was to be bound in all.
When was the head of Satan taken off?
1453 by
By whom?
Muhammad.
Name some of the marks that were put upon the Moors of the Northwest by the European nations in 1774.
Negro, black, colored, and Ethiopian.
Negro.
The name given to a river in South Africa, Moors, because it's named Black Moor.
What is meant by the word black?
Black according to science means death.
What does the word colored mean?
Color means anything that makes the same blush or color.
What does Ethiopia mean?
Ethiopia means something black.
Can a man be a Negro, black, colored, or Ethiopian?
No.
Why?
Because man is made in the image and after the likeness of Allah.
What title does Satan give himself?
God.
Will you define the word white?
White means purity, purity means God, God means
To whom we refer to as at times as being the great God?
Allah.
Is the devil made in the image and likeness of Allah?
No, he is the shadow of the Lord self.
Who made the devil?
Elohim.
Who was Elohim?
Elohim is clear, spiritually.
What is Elohim sometimes called?
The 7 eyes of Allah.
How many days are in the circle?
7 days.
How many days under creation?
7 days.
According to science, how many days under year?
7 days.
Praise the Lord. Okay. All right. Okay. I asked you this question one time before, that I'm getting ready to ask you again. And I'm asking it again just to see if you have seen since the last time, no, what you have seen maybe since the last time I asked you this question. Of course, because when you express what you've seen, you can always tell if you are advancing or if you are putting in work or if you're not putting in work. Because what you see is solely dependent on what you practice. The more you practice, the more you see. And the more you, when you are able to see, you be given the ability to articulate what you see. And then through that way of an articulation, when you have conversations with yourself, it helps to give you what? Clarity. That's good. That was nice. Right. Clarity. It helps to give you clarity. And when it comes to these divine teachers, why is clarity necessary? What does clarity help? You do. It helps you see. But what else does it do? What else does clarity help you do? Yeah, understanding, that's true. And what else?
Make decisions. Purify your belief.
Okay, that's good. And what does clarity reinforce? Yes, it does, practice, but what else does it reinforce?
Your decision making?
Decision making, recognition, yes.
The truth.
The truth, no question. The thought, no question.
Right.
Yes. But how about confidence? It helps you to get confidence. Why is confidence necessary? Why do you need to be confident? I mean, after all, you've been taught by a holy and divine prophet. Why do you need to have confidence? As a matter of fact, what is it? What is confidence?
Believe.
It's a belief. A belief in what? My sister.
In oneself.
A belief in oneself, yes, yes. What else is confidence?
Surety.
Surety. Now that's a nice one-word definition. Surety. Surety of what? Okay, that you can do things. Okay. All right.
Surety to succeed,
Surety to succeed.
to progress.
To
Firm trust.
progress. Okay.
Trust.
Trust. That's the word. You know, when you have confidence, you have what? Trust. And the trust comes from what? Practice. The trust comes from practice. You will be acquainted with trust when you practice. You'll be able to put into words what trust is to you when you practice. Because the practice is what anoints you with the gift of understanding. Application anoints you with the oil of wisdom. Once you are anointed with the oil of wisdom, you become what? You become conscious. You become aware of things that you haven't paid attention to in the past, that you have been doing and you have not even given it any real thought because you've just been doing it by just doing it. Confidence. Let me ask you this. Now, this is the question I want to ask. Why do you believe in Prophet Noble Dwali? If you believe. You've never met him. All we know about Prophet Noble Dwali physically is what we've seen in a portrait. What makes you believe that this portrait of this individual, known as Noble Dwali, is a prophet? And not just one who has assumed that title. Go on.
Islam. His message made me want to change.
His message made you want to change. That's cool. Come on, bro, Pryor.
No, it's teaching allowed me to change my bad habits and learn who I was, and it's been working. It works for me.
Okay.
I haven't had any problems at all. Everything that he said that I have done,
Yeah.
it works.
Okay. Okay. Come on, my brother.
When Prophet Noble Dwali, he said, investigate out a prophet. Once you investigate it, you realize that he was being who he was.
Okay. No, it's just you. Oh, no, I tell you, I agree with you. I'm just wondering, and I'm not saying he didn't say it. Okay. But before I move on without addressing the statement that he said, investigate. You know, I don't want to give the impression that that's a certainty that he said it like that. You know what I mean? You know, because see, remember, we have to be very careful what we attribute to him. That's why I told you some Sundays ago, you have to make sure that you qualify by saying that maybe it's reported he said it. You know what I mean? But I would not go as far to say he said, because then we may be inaccurate. You know what I mean? Whose hand I see? Come on, Sister Jonesboro.
This one, I believe because at first I didn't believe.
That's right.
I didn't believe in the prophet. I didn't believe in what was being taught and what I was hearing about the Moorish Science Temple of America.
Right.
I had a lot of doubts.
Right.
And then I started to pay more attention and study
Right.
some of the things that was being said.
Right.
But I also started to see some of the things that I heard be substantiated by other things.
Okay.
I started to see what he said being real and true for myself,
Okay. Okay. Okay.
and that it was accurate.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Come on, Mo.
It's safe to say, that, I know for myself, I believe in the pop because I can look at me and tell the change I made,
Okay.
and, reincarnated Jesus, and said that I believe he said, every word I speak is spirit,
Okay.
and you more is better heed.
Okay.
And I know that, prophet, prophet God Allah, and man is one.
Right.
So, you know, that's what I believe.
Okay. 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 You know, when I first heard the teaching of Prophet Muhammad and I heard about it, you know, I was looking to prove him wrong. Can't nobody be this smart. Can't nobody be right like this all the time. You see? You know, you go through a certain mental transition before you come into the valley of acceptance.
Yeah, yeah. The value of what?
Acceptance.
You look for loopholes.
You sure you do. I mean, after all, we haven't heard anything like this. Somebody write what we hear this statement made, and you know we just accept that it's right. No, it's got to be something else, because we have had other what in our lives? Other teaching.
It's not bad too, especially for a sheep from a brother that look just like you and I.
Of course,
You know what I mean?
because remember we were still under the misconception of Jesus being a certain way. I mean, you have to go out of all that. Takes a minute to get out of that. You know, I mean, making that transformation is not an easy transition when you have been accepting something all your life. And now you say, here's an individual who has come, and he's telling me these things. Now, what makes him right? So now the conflict comes. Now the conflict comes. Am I willing to go and challenge what I have been taught all these years that I've been on earth to accept what I'm now being taught from something new? Or something that appears to be new, because for real it's not new, it's really old. My brother.
Now, the more I learned, the more light bulbs started going off.
Yeah,
And what we was talking about a couple of Sundays ago, you get the aha moments.
yeah,
It's like, I knew this already, but I didn't know it.
yeah,
That's how it feels.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You do feel like that. I knew this, but I didn't know it. What's happening? What takes place when that's taken? When you come to that point and you say, I knew it, but I didn't know it. What's taking place? Come on.
Life, I mean, because I was big.
Right.
Before I met the prophet, I
Right.
was big inside, so he gave me life. He, like to say, the prophet. I never heard nothing like this before.
Right. Right. Right.
Before I came into more time, and it woke me up to me. I didn't even know what I was.
Right.
The prophet know what it is, but I don't want to do it. Not when I ever tried it, done it, never did it.
Right. Right. What is taking place, my sister?
A connection, a
Yes.
realization.
Yes. 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 A connection. Yes, that's right. What else is taking place? Give me a word.
Relief.
Transformation. Okay. Transition. Okay.
Unfoldment.
Unfoldment. Yes.
Revelation.
Revelation. Yes. What about enlightenment? you're being enlightened. Enlightened. The light is now coming from where?
Yes.
Within.
Inside. That's
And,
it.
and that comes with the separating my thoughts from the carnal
Yes.
to the spirit.
Yes.
And that way I can see and enlighten and recognize
Yes.
better.
Yes.
Because I had to learn how to separate the two.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Right.
Yes. Now, the Spirit is guiding you on the path of enlightenment. The Spirit of, and the Spirit is who? Yes, working through who?
Man.
Working through who, babe? The prophet. The enlightenment comes from the thought of Allah manifested in the flesh. Here,
That's wrong.
it's on.
It's wrong, Mo.
It's on.
You know, they, in some of the questions that you asked, many of us, prior to coming in here,
Mhm.
yes, we've been exposed to things,
Mhm.
but did we really accept other thoughts that were put out there?
Mhm.
I think we gotta remember this, or think about it anyway. As the people that came out of being enslaved, many thoughts were being forced upon us. Many concepts were being put before us. And notwithstanding some of those things, many of our people did not accept what was being forced on them, even though they had to learn how to get along with it. I'm saying that in reference to what the prophet brought. The way that the prophet brought it to us, he stated this, or as reported, he stated this. Because he wasn't trying to force it on us. He said, if you doubt that I'm a prophet, watch my prophets. For some of us, that's what we had to do. To begin to accept this, we watched and see, as we studied and read, we watched to see is what he's saying is right. The man cannot be a Negro, black, and colored. Well, that's what they've been telling me, that's what they've been saying. But in upon investigation, there is no Negro, black, or colored attached to the human race. And I would say, in this regard, for myself, coming up during the early time when I was being raised, there was a lot of civil unrest. And there were those who had groups that always put out a different thought.
Yeah.
Even about Jesus, how he actually looked. So that planted a seed of, I don't know if he looks like what they say. I like to see and investigate this a little further. And as we proceeded in life and grew a little bit more, another thing was revealed to us, not so much through the status quo, but just through those who were trying to help us learn from another point of view. It wasn't necessarily in the more scientific market, but there were those who did have a level of race pride and consciousness, and even for most of us, we heard about Brother Marcus Garvey before we came in here. So there were different things that were put before us to think about, so that there may be an opportunity. And now that we're learning in here, that Brother Marcus Garvey was prepared by and sent by Allah,
Right.
so that we could learn how to accept
Right.
some of those things. He was stirring our consciousness up,
Right.
speaking about certain things that wasn't being talked about amongst our race of people.
Right.
So many of these things, I would just say, gravitated to a certain point. And I'll just use myself as
Right.
the focal point of my statement is that when I heard the prophet's teachings and I read them and I thought about it, I didn't join the temple right away. I just kept studying. And then as things unfolded, this made all the sense in the world to me. Because what I had been hearing and what I was taught and many things that I had thought about, not so much that I accepted them, but they were always there. But now he's giving me something to think about even greater. And he's saying to me, you don't have to accept it, just think about it. And upon investigation, the things that he said, look at and learn and study for yourself. Makes all the sense in the world. So that's my approach to accepting some of these teachers, is that I never necessarily doubted them, but he did give me something to think about.
Sister.
This one, and thinking about what the brother Chase Hill was saying, we also had thoughts about Jesus. I mean, when we open the Koran, the prophet says, for all those who love Jesus.
Right.
So he starts to help us to make the connection that it's not Jesus that's wrong, it's the way we think about him that needs adjusting. And I think about the chapter that says, man's God today, tomorrow is not God. So that makes opens the possibility for the enlightenment to me.
Right.
That it's okay that I change my thought.
Right.
I've learned something more.
Yeah.
I'm feeling something more.
Yeah.
I think another way that we can know if we really believe in the prophet, if we believe in whatever we believe in, is that you have this not, I won't say innate, but you have this inner feeling that goes beyond just, oh, okay, that's a fact, or I'll think about that. That sounds right. It's something inside of you, that connection, I think, that we have to Allah, the spirit of Allah, that lets you know, no, it's something more. You're not off in what you're thinking. This is not going to just go away. This is not going to pass, if you stop reading it or stop looking at it or stop hearing it. You're going to go back to what you was doing. It's something that moves you beyond that.
Right. That's right. Come on.
And going with what Sister Jones is saying, something you feel, then I got to go back to the separation and looking past the actions, right? And look at within, the spirit within and stuff, and try to come to a better understanding and see something within man. So when I read the true man is the spirit and a part of Allah, I had to start understanding that and looking at the spirit part of man and ignore some of the physical part, the actions, because that kind of threw me off too. Some of the things I was saying, they steadily preaching, but their actions wasn't showing what they were saying. You understand? But when I started reading that, a couple of brothers pointed it out, and I started trying to comprehend it and understand it better. I had to look past their actions, because they were still spouting the words. There was something within them. They just hadn't dealt with the carnal self yet. And that started making me start looking within me too.
Okay. That's good. When was the aha moment? Using your term. When was the moment that inspired you to continue to move forward in this? Sister Gatekeeper.
It came to me when I realized that I didn't have to follow the prophet or any other man. One of the sisters told me that follow the prophet's teaching, not the man. And that was my aha, because I never was a child that could take orders from a man. So once I realized that I could trust and verify what he said, I was able to move forward and happily had someone that felt the same way.
Right,
I can't tell you what to do,
right.
but just follow the prophet's teaching. You'll never go wrong.
I hear you. Yeah.
Peace.
That's interesting. That is a profound statement. Follow the teaching. Follow the teachings, and that gives credibility to the man. Because remember, we have many that say the prophet said it. And sometimes we take for granted that he said that when he may not have said that.
Right. And
Yes,
and the sister that told me that was Sister Pearl Ali.
praise the Lord. Well, she should know. I mean, she should have some insight. Yeah. That's right. That's right. That's good. That's real good. Come on, Mark.
It's wrong. And to the sister's point, this day in this regard, I remember when Jesus told the people, you should not worship man.
That's what he said. That's right.
So what he was saying, this is in light of what Sister Gabriel was saying. Listen to the message that I'm bringing.
Yeah.
Don't start worshiping me.
Right.
I'm bringing you the word of God.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Because they want to make a God out of him.
That's right. That's right.
So he told them.
That's right.
It's the message.
That's right. My words and deeds in all the walks of life
Come on.
shall be the proof.
No, I'm just your brother back.
Come to show the way. Did he say that? He said that. Come on.
It was a saying that if I can get you to begin to think, you can save yourself.
Yeah,
And McDowell Bay was one of the first brothers that I met from the country, and he used to always say that not thinking caused you to be where you at.
Right.
But if you slow down and start thinking, you can make better decisions.
Right. Right. Come on.
Brother Peter, before coming here, when I was going to the other teams, and when I would go, something would be telling me inside, man, something ain't right. What you hearing, right? It's something, it didn't feel right with my spirit.
Right.
So, and like you said, they would tell you, they would try. I mean, I'm not trying to put them.
I understand.
They would try to get your focus, in my opinion, off of God. And he said, Jesus said, don't worship me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But, going to them, they would have you worshiping other things than to my opinion, to God. Who
Right.
God really was.
Right.
So coming here and learn who God really is.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't know if it might relate to that, but, even when I was, something would be telling me something ain't right with this man.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so it kind of threw me off. I didn't know, you trying to get understanding,
Right.
to your life struggle, but coming here, open my eyes, it's learning, teaching me, showing me who God really is.
Right.
Then, like you say, the teaching that we was taught, not speaking back, but,
Right.
coming here. And you said earlier about, how you put it, it's like learning the difference between, it's like, you got to learn, you got to get all that old stuff, that stuff that was put in you that, I knew when coming here, it helped me to see it. Now I'm seeing distinctions between truth and falsehood.
Right.
That I didn't know, but I'm just learning,
Right.
Truth and falsehood.
Right.
And
That's where the clarity coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Things are becoming clearer.
Mm-hmm.
But remember, it's only because of your efforts. Your efforts is what's making it clear.
That's what it is, bro.
Remember that. The more effort you put in, the clearer it becomes.
Yeah.
Because the way to her is what? Effort.
Yeah.
It's effort. Come on, Mom.
And just to add to that point that you're making,
Mm-hmm.
with that effort, we some of the attributes.
Yes,
We have all the attributes of Allah in us.
yes,
His mighty spirit is in us.
yes, yes,
We
yes,
sin in disobedience,
yes,
our will became sluggish,
yes,
and many things that we used to practice
right,
became dormant.
yes, that's right,
We're unlocking those things now.
that's right, that's right,
And
that's
as
right,
we practice, they unlock even more. And remember, he said he planted in thee
that's right,
a knowledge
that's right,
of their preeminence.
that's right, that's right,
So what Sister John Day was talking about, that's sensing, that's in us.
right, right, right,
And remember, your soul seeks after the truth.
that's right, that's right, that's right, that's right, that's right, that's right, that's right. Things are being revealed.
Yeah.
We are receiving revelation. And as long as we continue to stay on the path, the more will be revealed to you. Come on, my brother.
Islam, I guess a moment came where I realized that I played a part in obtaining my salvation. That the onus wasn't just on the Allah and the Prophet. I had a part in that as well.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. A major part. That's right. Come on, Mom.
You know, and I was listening at the vestibule, and my aha moment was to reflect. Because it was a challenge.
Right.
It was a struggle.
Right.
Because a part of the world was calling.
Yeah.
And I was in to do something that got my attention.
Right.
But the world was stronger.
Right.
The world was stronger.
Right.
And once upon a time, I gave the world its acknowledgement.
Right.
Not knowing what I was on,
Right.
that was going to bring me happiness and peace.
Right.
And then I had to reflect
Right.
where I were when I was striving, when I was working with this
Right.
compared to where I am now.
Right. Right.
And something said to me, you were better off doing what you were doing, but you didn't know that.
Right.
Because once you don't have it, and you
Right.
see the conditions you find yourself in,
Right.
there's only one thing to do is to go back and try to give it a try. But this time, be sincere to it.
Right. Right.
See, be sincere to it because you see what this offers.
Right.
Unrest, misery.
Right.
Give this a chance and
Right.
see what this offers.
Right.
And the choice that I made was give this a chance. And it offered peace, harmony.
Right.
And the world, the things that the world had to offer,
Right.
didn't have the grasp, the grip that it did when I first was introduced.
Right. Right.
Because the experience
Right.
that you have to go through.
Right.
And I heard when y'all was talking, you have to go through something sometimes to
Right.
see what you really got, to
Right.
find out, does this work?
Right. Right. Right.
You know, no one can experience it for you. You have to experience it yourself.
That's right.
Please.
Yeah. So what we're really saying is, we had to get to a point where we had something that we could compare with what we were presently going through to see the difference.
Yeah.
So we had to get to a point to see the difference. Yeah, okay. Okay, come on, Mo.
If I may, lady,
Yeah, Mo.
see the difference and understand the benefit.
Yeah, yeah.
See, it was a benefit when we started to not continue to call ourselves Negro, Black, and Colored.
Right.
You know, we started to free ourselves. We started to think from a different point of view.
Right.
We started to cut away some of those naughty uses on ungainly parts.
Right. Right.
That's a benefit.
Right.
Now you're thinking on a higher level, a more healthier level.
Right.
And even to the point that, and many of us in here can affirm to this,
Right.
that you changed the way you was acting in the world.
Right.
you stop doing things to yourself.
Right. Right.
That you had become accustomed to, and not only your carnal desires were always in that realm.
Right.
When something got your attention to say now,
Right.
you don't have to do it like that.
Right.
You lost your appetite for the world in that manner.
Right. Right.
See, that had to take place too. We had to see a benefit in thinking this way.
Right. Right.
Or we could have took the lessons like many of us had,
Right. And just
and just keep talking about the prophet said, the prophet said.
Right. That's right.
Every time I look up, I'm down the street.
Right. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. So again, another part of unfolding is learning how to address your appetites.
Yes.
No.
Yeah. Come on, man.
Because one thing, Brother Leader, the conflict cannot be told in words.
Right.
And the appetites is of our creation.
Right.
The question is, are we willing to let go for the truth?
Right.
Because they are our creation.
Right.
And there's no way around it. And you can do it in a scanty way,
Right.
but you're not gonna never receive the benefits that this movement is dedicated to, because you're giving a scanty approach to it.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Like you say, whatever we give, that's what we receive. Because I was thinking about this, and understanding is the rock on which man builds himself on.
Right. Right.
What are we building ourselves on?
Right.
The world,
Right.
or the teachings of the prophet?
Right. Right.
It ain't but two.
Able to. Right. Right.
And what we put in it, that's what we get back from.
You know, and there's a period in our adjustment that we try to mix it.
And it don't work.
We have to learn that mix don't mix.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Come on, Mo.
This last time that we started to talk about the appetite,
Right.
you fed yourself,
Right.
and you change it. It's like this change your appetite.
Right.
You start. I don't want to feed myself that garbage no more. Let me eat something different.
Right.
You know, try. You know, and this has changed my appetite.
Right.
Like you said, you know, I'm working on myself, but a lot of things that that would grab out, it don't phase me no more, because now I finally realize what it's gonna do to me.
Right. Right. Right.
You know what I mean? What it's gonna do to me now is no benefit. What is the benefit?
Right.
There's no benefit,
Right.
doing certain things.
Okay.
I don't want to be the brother, be by the hill and be down the street.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? And them type of vibes. And I just want. And now even people, it's very few people I talk to now.
Right.
I mean, you know what I mean? This y'all my brothers. I come in here and I be around it. Because like now, your conversation is, you said it before, I'm not there, with a lot of things. And that's by coming here,
Right.
Learning of, the teaching and talking over the God. It's helped me to change. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. I did.
Yes.
Because before we accepted him, we had a very limited menu.
Yeah.
It was very limited. Now our menu is much more extensive.
Yeah.
And we have a better choice. We have a more healthier choice to make.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. I pray that pleases Prophet what you have said. Because that shows that you are reflecting. And the more we reflect on it, the more he makes himself known to us. Especially when you are doing what? Practicing. That's the key. That's the key. That's the key to your freedom.
Islam. I can say the difference for me is that when I first came into the military and I left home at 19 years old, I was on a ship, was my first tour. And I realized then, it's not that I have unrest with the church, meaning because during my time there, I was out on a deployment, and you're exposed to a lot of different things when you're out there. And you needed someone to provide you a little bit of guidance. So I wrote a letter home. At that time, there was no emails and things like that. I wrote a letter home, sent a check to the church that I was going to, and I never received a response back, but they cashed my check. So to me, I felt like, okay, you cashed my check, but you didn't send me anything in response to say, hey, you know, positive, something positive to uplift me during that time.
Yeah.
So I've been in search of a family type environment, and luckily for my husband, he exposed me and my family to the Morris Science Temple, and I can see the difference in how more family oriented, how more receptive, and how more open this environment has been for me and my family. So that's the difference from what I feel with that. And then being here also has exposed me to culture and tradition, because in New Orleans we do have culture, but as far as in the church, as far as traditional type things that we do, it wasn't there. So that's the difference to me.
You know, it's so funny. It's so funny to hear you talk about deployment. You know, I mean, I don't use those military terms. You know, it's very. But praise the Lord. That's good. That's real good. That's real good. Good. See, when we make the attempt to express ourselves, that helps to reinforce our beliefs.
Yeah.
And we need all the reinforcement we can get. Especially now in these times. Because you know, we really getting ready to go through something. It's going to test us all. You know. Come on, Bill.
I was listening to you guys speaking. In all actuality, the military, the armed forces is just another organization.
Right.
There's many organizations. The military is just a different organization.
Right.
Another organization.
Right.
Right.
Organization with a specific purpose, like our organization has a specific purpose. The military does what it does. That's what it's designed to do. This does what it does because that's what it's designed to do. That's what it's about. And you're bearing witness yourself. You're being uplifted from where you were. So we are finding out that the mission statement for the organization is real. It's real. The uplifting of fallen humanity. We attest to that. Come on, Brother McGee.
I would like to reinforce my something with that being said.
Yeah.
I think that I was listening to my wife and I was thinking about, and as the brother said, you know, the different organizations. I look at how my aha moment is kind of mixed into that too as well. It's like I started to realize I was being prepared early for something just like this, with in a more divine way.
Right.
Back then, it was a structure. It was but I was fighting it. Same thing here. I was fighting it. You know, I was fighting it because I just made a choice, just like I did here. I came here and I just said, I'm joining. I did the same thing with the military. I'm joining.
Right.
But it was like the fear of the unknown. I just felt like I needed to go through it. You know, it was that unknown spirit, that fear tried to stop me from going through. And I still went through it. Because, you know, even same thing here, you know, I felt myself looking back saying, wow, I did this before. You know, and when I joined, I didn't know what I was really doing. I just know I heard enough. You know, I know I heard enough that I heard before, but I heard it in a way that enlightened me in a different way that was I couldn't even explain it to nobody around me. I just had to be it. I had to become a part of this. I didn't know how and what it was going to hold, but I just knew that it was no way for me to turn around and go back. You know, so it was the same thing for me. And so I just wanted to add that little piece right there, one piece.
Great. Okay. Let's go to the Holy Koran. Okay, let's go to chapter 10. Jesus spake on the unity of Allah and man to the Hindus. Benares is the sacred city of the Brahmins. And in Benares, Jesus taught. Yudreka was his host. Yudreka made a feast in honor of his guests, and many high-born Hindu priests and scribes were there. Who was you? Briefly, who was Yudreka again?
The teacher.
He was a teacher. And he was a what?
Healer.
A healer. Okay, remember, we talk about what when we talk about healing ourselves?
Health and balance.
Balance. Remember, balance. Yudreka's, one of his instructions, he talked about the balance of the body. How to attain balance. What different remedies that one could use that come from the earth. In those days, that was before they were contaminated with all these chemicals and everything. But he knew what herbs could do what. But he also said, like I shared with you, what may heal one may kill another. So you have to know. Okay? All right. Yudreka made a feast in honor of his guests, and many high-born Hindu priests and scribes were there. And Jesus said to them with much delight, I speak to you concerning life, the brotherhood of life. Brotherhood of life meaning what?
We're one.
We're one, that's right. And that there is a what?
Connection.
A connection, give me another word.
Bond.
Bond, give me another word.
Relationship.
Relationship. Because we're taught, remember what?
Relationship.
That does what?
Bind
us to what?
Loving you.
We got to remember. We must remember that we have a relationship. When you start feeling that family peace, that is the relationship being revealed to you. Now, how much of the relationship you experience is totally based on what you are willing to do what? Accept, yes. What else? What you're willing to believe, yes. What else?
Give of yourself.
Live, give of yourself. Because in a relationship development, one must get away from what? Selfishness. We got to get away from being selfish.
That's right. That's right.
Looking at ourselves as being satisfied first.
That's right.
We got to be willing to put the other fellow first, or the other person first. That's why it's important that as we build our relationship, we learn to watch what we say out of our mouths. We watch how we treat each other. Come on back.
I'm thinking about affection.
Yeah.
See, affection builds
Yes.
relationship.
Yes.
Without the affection, you can't have a relationship.
Yes, you can. That's right.
See, one thing I've often said, where there's unity is strength, but there has to be an affection
That's right.
to build that unity.
That's right. And affection does what to you, baby?
Put yourself, allow you to look at someone, treat them as the way you would want to be
There you
treated.
go. That's good.
That's the best.
That's good. That's right. And it is through the bond of relationship that we what?
Unite.
That's right. That's the uniting factor.
That's right.
So you can't have unity unless you let the bonds of relation, let the bonds of affection unite you. That's the uniting factor. That's the peace. Affection. What is affection?
Think about others. Think about others.
Care for people.
Think about other people. Think about other people's feelings.
Yeah. Care.
A strong sense of care.
Yes.
Yeah. That is a care, strong.
Yes.
Empathy.
The empathy isn't involved.
Understanding and identifying.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. Remember when he talks about putting yourself in the other fellow's place?
Come on, man, come on, come on.
See, it takes a true willingness to apply that, to take the time in your thinking,
Come on.
to put yourself in the other fellow's place. Even think about it. Yeah.
Or look for the best.
Oh, it's no
in others,
question.
And give them the best that's in you.
That's right. That's
Look
right.
for the best.
That's right.
Go between all them.
That's right. All that other stuff.
All that other
That's
stuff.
right. That's right.
Before you make a judgment.
That's right.
On whether that person is right or wrong.
That's right. That's
You
right.
gotta look. You gotta dig deep sometimes.
Hey, look, when you are seeing the manifestation of a unhealthy behavior pattern being directed at you, it really takes some courage to look.
You better believe it.
Because it's easy to stop right there.
You better believe it.
It's easy to stop right where that's being manifested and start to do what?
Judge.
Not only to judge, but start to calculate how you're going to deal with that behavior.
That's right.
Neglecting, looking beyond that behavior. Don't get caught up in the behavior first. Go beyond that behavior. That display, that manifested, that reflex, go beyond the reflex. Takes time to really develop the willingness to even desire to go beyond the reflex.
That's right. That's right.
Because you done said something that done hurt me, and I ain't going no further except dealing with you from where you just displayed a certain action. Sister Gaithiel.
I have learned over the last 50, 60 years, without being a friend, it won't go anywhere.
Yes, I hear you.
You have to be friends and allow the other person to be free.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right. That's right.
That's right.
That's right. Allow the other person to be free. That's the truth. Come on, Mo.
That's like observing yourself for the use of others.
Yeah.
We ain't talking about being no fool.
That's right.
We ain't talking about taking advantage of someone, allowing somebody to be our footstool.
Right.
But just establish a friendship.
That's right. That's right. He says, unite the friendship with what?
Love.
With love. Yeah. Come on, here.
And just to, add another part, of course, and that we're being taught.
Yes.
Race pride.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes.
See, race pride is a big part of this whole process.
Yes.
For us. Because what it does, it helps us not to look at the individual.
Yes.
So much.
Yes.
And to go beyond their behavior.
Yes.
At times.
Yes. Yes.
See, if we, as he indicated, if you have race pride and love your race,
Yes.
one of the reasons for me that has an impact is this, and I kind of alluded to it early on. We've been through some things.
Right.
As a race of people.
Right.
As a particular race of people.
Right.
The Asiatics of Moorish descent been through some things.
Right.
So when I see you act out sometimes,
Right.
I know you've been through some things, and you still going through some things that perhaps others don't have to go through so much.
Right.
And while we're not making allowances for bad behavior,
Right.
sometimes you don't know what people are going through
Right.
when they act out.
Right.
But we have enough race pride and understanding that, my brother or sister
Yeah.
just having that time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we gotta love our race
Yeah.
in order to give them that part of you. Like you said, you gotta look beyond that behavior for the moment,
Yeah.
so that you can see the Allah that's there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that helps us if we love our race.
Yeah. 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 We love all that. Come on, baby.
No,
Oh, yes, sir. Go ahead.
Oh, I don't want to throw the real off, but I have a question. chapter 6.
Right.
Is this, okay, when Jesus, when he was a little boy, he asked his parents, could he go through? Let me slow down. The Bible people play well, and Jesus was accepted as a teacher in the temple of John, and here he learned the Baptist and the man. The Bible man, okay, if these, when Jesus came back to him, when he was a child, he had, like I said, he had his parents, could he go and learn of to go learn with Brahma priest.
Right.
He wanted to go study with them.
Right.
So, okay, where we at now? Are they the same? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's the same journey that he's on.
Yeah, but as a child, he studied this before. I mean, when he was a child, he studied about it. Then he came back to them.
No, he stayed in India for a while.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying.
He gained some age in India.
Right. So he was older when he came back.
He was older when he came back home.
Home, yeah, and was a little more
advanced.
That's what I was saying. He was a little more advanced.
Yeah.
When he came back home, because because the reason why I asked that question, when you said that he was delight, and when he said that Jesus said to them, "We must be like." He was like, he was aware more.
Right.
Now he coming to, because it say Jesus spoke on the unity of law of man.
Right.
And I want to ask, okay, I don't want to throw this off, but would they practice? Because I read a little bit about them and their belief. They believe in more than one God. You understand? They had, they believed in God, but they had other beliefs.
Yeah, they had other, but they believed in other. They believed in certain phases of that.
Oh, okay.
Of the one. So they named the phases that they also saw from the one. And Brahm, they named other phases of Brahm, and they worship those phases.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I didn't want to, but that was the thought.
Yeah. Well, we still talking about the teachings of India.
Yeah.
So we all right. Yeah. Okay, it says, and Jesus said to them with much delight, I speak to you concerning life, the brotherhood of life. The universal Allah is one, yet he is more than one. All things are one. Can you understand that? The universal Allah is what? One. Yet he's more than one.
Right.
He's one, but he's more than one. How would you explain that? Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Oh. The universal Allah is one. He's more than one. All things are what? One. Now you must have a broad inner vision to be able to see Allah from different points of view. You must have had to grow some to be able to see Allah from different points of view, yet to accept that he's only one. See, everybody can't explain how he's more than one. So you must have had to grow within yourself to see him as one, yet more than one. That's understanding.
Yeah.
And if you bear witness to the understanding, you know that you have received a gift. And you must acknowledge where that gift comes from.
Right.
Because if you disregard the gift that has been given to you, you may not receive it. Come on.
And what was the purpose for you receiving?
So receiving that gift, that's right.
It
Or
was
better.
It was not to go around and pump yourself up.
No.
That gift to be able to see beyond
Yes.
that limit of the bowl.
Yes.
You see in areas that that some may not be able to see.
Yeah.
You've been chosen in a manner to do good for humanity with that gift.
Yeah. Well, look. Why do you think you're here? We say we came into the morning side. No, the door was open and you were ushered in.
For a purpose.
You were already chosen to be there. There are no happenings. Law governs all events. For whatever reason, you have been chosen to be here. Now, all of us, once we come in, we play a role. Even those who don't join that come in here. They have their role to play. But you in particular have been chosen to play a certain role and given the information that lets you know that He is one, Allah, yet He's more than one, and you're able to understand it. You think that's just because, you know, you have that type of developmental mind where you can comprehend it? You know how hard that is for somebody? Sister, false dead.
Yes, what you obeyed was a willing participant.
Yeah. Yeah. It says, okay. By the sweet breath of Allah, all life is bound in one. Okay. So if you touch a fiber of a living thing, you send a thrill from center to the outer bounds of life. Now, sometimes, you know, people say, I don't kill so-and-so because they are creations of Allah. But the question comes, why would He teach you to tame one and crush the other?
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Why would He teach you to tame one and to crush the other? I mean, that's just something that came up in my mind when I was reading it.
I thought about that myself.
Because, look, there are things that Allah has made, but there are also things man made.
That's right.
So we have to be able to differentiate the one from the other. I'm not telling you to go out there and start stepping on stuff. I'm just saying, think about it. Think about it. Some things carry disease. You got to know what's what. And not always just take things for face value. Yeah, man.
But sometimes too, brother, they have their purpose here.
Yes, yes.
They serve a purpose for
Yes.
man to develop.
Yes.
But also it has to be controlled.
Yes.
And see, man has lost his way.
Yes.
Where he doesn't have the ability to control these things
Yes.
because of what he has pursued.
Yes.
So sometimes these things become more of a detriment to man
Yes.
than an asset.
Yes. But it's just something you think about. Yes, sir.
I got a question. It might sound strange, but I'm thinking of cross breeding. You know, where we know that certain insects, animals have crossbreed and created something that wasn't originally created.
Right.
So how would we look at that?
I mean, you know.
Would you understand?
Yeah, yeah. You talking about like crossing a mule with a horse.
Exactly.
Or, you know what I mean?
That's what,
Yeah.
that wasn't the original, creation.
Hey, you know, when you think about taking something from out of its natural state and putting it into an unnatural state, then you have to think about that. You know, I won't comment on any further than that, but, you know, just like they crossed, I'll give you an example. They crossed the tiger with a lion. Remember I told you back?
Yeah.
And made a liger?
A liger, yeah.
A liger.
Look it up.
They made a liger. And this liger stands 11 feet tall. With 9 legs.
What?
It can't, and what they made cannot reproduce itself. So now, so I'm just saying, we're here, so that's just to give you something to think about. You know, come on, man. Come on, man.
I got a question.
Yeah.
I seen a roach in my house last night. So can I kill him? Can I kill him, bro? So let him live, right? Because I was thinking about this.
Let me ask you a question.
Let him live, let him
Let me
die.
ask you a question. And I'm gonna tell you one way or the other. Are you comfortable with roaches in your house?
No, sir.
Well, then you know what you might have to do.
Because I didn't get killed. I didn't want me to do nothing. And you just, that's why I love coming here. You gave me the answer to the situation.
I didn't say do it. I'm just stamping your foot. But I'm just saying thank you.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah, the other girl tested about that, killing thing, right? I found a roach in my house. I got a cup I keep in there. I get that cup and I catch him. And I go out there and walk all the way down the front. I live on the third floor. I walk all the way down the front and turn loose. Now, keep on putting poison in the house to kill the mice. I get those little sound things all over the house. I got more than the average person I might have 3 or 4 in one room. I think I got a mouse in there that's deaf. Because I was one. Because I got one mouse, he come in there when he get ready to do what he want to do. He the only one that I can see. You know? But I'm just saying, it's hard for me to kill something knowing.
I understand.
Yeah. It really is.
I understand. I understand, Mo. Just a great thing.
It's wrong. So, not really trying to lean on that, but I have a great fear of anything crawling.
Right.
But knowing these lessons and understanding what's being said to me, and then I have people that say, well, it's harmless.
Right.
So like the baby geckos,
right,
and the little toads.
Right.
And I try to think to myself when I see these, because they get in my house sometimes.
Right.
And there's nobody else there to get it and throw it outside for me. And for real, I'll be ready to put my house up for sale because I am just that afraid of crawly things. But the lessons be fresh in my head.
Right.
So it's like I try to talk to myself and say, you know, okay, it's harmless.
Right.
Allah's not going to allow anything harmful to come in my presence, I feel. I try to think that way to get over the fear. It has worked once, but for the most part, it doesn't. Like, even going to my shed is like, to me, entering a haunted house every time. Because those two things are always there. So it's like, I don't know what to do. I don't want to kill it, but it's never nobody around to swat it for me.
Right.
So I just might not cut the grass.
Right.
Or, you know what I'm saying? I might not go in the house until I find a neighbor to come and get it.
Right.
But that's a lot, because sometimes neighbors ain't always around.
Right. But you're not waiting for me to give the answer.
I don't even think it's really an answer.
It's not. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. My sister.
Islam. Me and my dad, we talk about this a lot.
Right.
And I think when we had a conversation before, is just saying like, what this chapter kind of teaches you is to know that we are one and that you should still respect them and not have like, I guess feeling like, because I remember as a little kid, some things you used to do to bugs and insects weren't right. Like put salt on slugs and they just live in.
Yeah.
Or like step on things or pull off wings and stuff like that. That's not having respect.
You used to pull off wings? You got too many things to do. I used to pull off wings.
If I catch them, that's all. But it makes you have a deeper respect for other living things around you. I try to take that into consideration because we get caught up in the mosquito thing too, as far as like, should you kill it, should you not? And I think, but when I looked up mosquitoes, they do have a purpose. They help pollinate. They're one of the main pollinators, just like bees. So they are important. It's just, you know, it's how you handle it. I think one more thing is that one of the examples that I use sometimes is that how Native Americans used to kill like for food or something like that. They'll kill a deer.
Right.
They'll pray for the deer after they kill them and like wish them like on your journey on or something. But then they use every part of that deer and respect it for aiding them in life.
Right.
So that's thing. It's like having respect.
Great. Okay. All right. So Chase here.
It's, you know, listening to all of the comments and the conversations that we're having, and the questions that you asked as we're looking at this chapter and you went to the other chapter.
Yeah.
What I get from this, he's trying to get us to look at life from a different point of view.
Yes.
Yep.
There may be those times when you wind up crushing the other under that feet.
Yes.
But that time will come after you contemplated that it's called, is it presenting a danger?
Yes.
He's teaching us that even in Sister Britt Bay's example, you have to now think about what are you creating in your environment that can be preventative. So he wants us to start to think about things even more than in the past when we just reacted.
Yeah.
See, many times in the past, we wouldn't hesitate to swat a fly.
That's right.
Now we're starting to stop and think about it.
Right.
And that's our first step in understanding that we are bound by codes to every other living thing.
Yeah.
And when he says to us, how dare you kill anything?
Yeah.
Now that puts a pause in you from just responding to it. I mean, reacting to it. You don't just automatically, as we're practicing.
Yeah.
And it takes practice.
Yeah. Yeah.
That we won't just instinctively crush it, kill it, toss it away lightly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even in those moments, and I gotta be straight about it, that if I happen to swat a fly,
right,
I say, Allah forgive me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it may have been a instinctive thing I did because it was being annoying, you know, but at the same time, I can't go back to the unconscious part of me that didn't care.
Yeah.
See, all this is about stages of our development that we can now see what he's trying to get us to see.
Yes. Yeah.
And you don't just do it from your carnal point of view.
Yeah. Yeah.
You deal with life now because all things are one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if we're learning that lesson, we're treated as such. We'll start to look at it as deity made flesh in a different way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we try to respond to it, and I hear you all laughing about prior year, but you know, you gotta try to open the door and let them out. See, the difference between looking at it consciously and unconsciously is what was your intent?
Yeah. That's right.
What is your intent?
That's right.
And so we have to now raise our thoughts to the point of being conscious of what we're doing, not just doing it unconscious.
Yeah. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. I got to go. But just to show you how we are developing, think about this. We even have arrived to the point where we think about whether or not to kill a roach. I mean, we're thinking about that. And that shows we're becoming more conscious. That's it. All right. Peace. Peace.
Islam. I'd like to thank our Grand Sheikh and moderator, our brother, man, and friend, for a very stimulating class, and I'd like to thank you all for your participation. At this time, I'll call for the Grand Governor of Washington, D.C. to read our proclamation. Brother H. Harris Bay. And while the proclamation is being read, please give the reading your undivided attention, and please cease all movement.
Islam wars. First, I give praise to Allah and honor the Prophet Noble Ali. I give honor to each and every one of you, and I give honor to everything Prophet Noble Ali has brought for the uplift and fall of humanity. Prophet warns all Muslim governors, order to read proclamation in each meeting. I hereby inform all members that they must end all radical agitating speeches while at work, in their homes, or on the streets. We are for peace and not destruction. Stop flashing your cards at Europeans, it causes confusion. Remember, your card is for your salvation. Failure to obey these orders will be of severe consequence. We are for love, true peace, and freedom, and when these principles are violated, justice then must take its course. Any member or group of members who hold malicious feelings towards the temple or the prophet, or violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement, will receive a reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. All true Moors will and must obey the law as laid down to them by their prophet. If they lose confidence in their prophet, they should turn in their card button, cease wearing their turban or fez, and return to the state where I, the prophet, found you. This is a holy divine movement founded by the Prophet Noble Ali. And if the prophet is not right, the temple is not right. The prophet therefore is sending out the divine plea to all Moorish Americans that they do their part in protecting their prophet and the temple. This is an everlasting movement founded by the prophet through the will of Allah to redeem his people from their sins by order of Prophet Noble Ali. Peace. Peace.
Islam. I'd like to thank our Grand Governor for reading our proclamation. That ends our questionnaire and Koran portion of the meeting for today. Allah, the Father, universe.
Allah, the Father, universe.
Father, love.
Father, love.
Truth. Peace. Freedom. And justice. Allah is my protector.
Allah is my protector.
My guide. And my salvation. By night. And by day. Through his holy prophet.
Through his holy prophet.
Through Ali.
Through Ali.
Amen.
Amen.